Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is the 476th episode of the Immigration Answers Show, coming to you live from my back porch, of all things. It's sort of a nice warm day today. I like the brick backdrop, so I'll be here for the next hour. I wanted to get our show in. Dobry utro, Vadim. Pajolsta. I think that's what I'm supposed to say. I hope all is well, Vadim. Hope everyone's doing great. Everyone, give me a shout out in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. I've got some interesting stories for you. Also, I am smoking a beef brisket. So I don't think I'll have to take a break during the show, but maybe at the end I'll walk you guys down to the Kamado Joe and show you what we've got cooking for today. Looks like we have friends all over the place. Let me put the link in. Customs asking. Here's the link. I got a funny story for you at the bottom of the hour, too, that I'll share. Interesting interaction that I had this morning. So I was very grateful for that. Yad is in Philly. How about that? There's the link, everybody. Did I copy that right? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right. Cool. What's going on, everybody? It's Sunday. Your New York Jets take on the Buffalo Bills at 3:25 kickoff. The Bills are probably going to be looking for revenge. The terrible Jets somehow beat the Bills earlier this year, so this is the rubber match, and we'll see if the Bills wreak some revenge on my hapless Jets. I saw a thing the other day that they've had 37 drives in a row without a touchdown. It is just a terrible, terrible offense. Yeah, Tony's rooting for the 49ers. I got Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel on my – is that his name? On my fantasy team. My son Ibrahim runs the team, and we only lost one game. And the only game we lost was our quarterback was on a bye. So Ibrahim wanted to pick up Gardner Minshew, and I said, let's play Zach Wilson on Monday night. And all we needed to get was 9 points, and we lost the week. But other than that, we are I think we're like 9-1 or something. So our fantasy team's going well. Thank you, Vadim. I'm going to get working. I started working on the hacking processing times yesterday. So I think that's going to be fun. I think at first it's going to be rather unscientific, where I'll just talk to the other attorneys in the office and say, hey, what are you seeing? But then we're switching this month from Pipedrive and FileVine to something called Salesforce. And I think we're going to have a much better ability to count cases and count the time between dates. FileVine had a real problem with counting time between dates. So we're going to, or at least we weren't able to figure it out. We're going to do that inside of Salesforce. So I think that pretty soon we're going to be able to start publishing some real data. Lewis is watching from Austin as usual. I assume he's in Austin, but Lewis is a great friend of the show. He always sends me notes when I mess things up or when there's interesting things like I need to know, like when the United Kingdom got added to the diversity visa list this year, and Lewis was the first one to let me know. So the waiting room is getting full. We got some good friends in there. Let's see. We got Richard in Michigan. Bakari is here. Anita's in St. Louis. Hope says hello. Tony says nice. Hope says she's watching her favorite show from Florida. Yeah, Lewis was in Houston yesterday for golf. Hey, that's not bad. Sinus is up in Seattle, Washington. And APF is sending me salams from New York City. You know, we really got to do something about New York City because we have a lot of clients and a lot of fans in New York City. So I got to figure something out. Maybe next year we'll do a live show from New York or something. That would be fun. That give me an excuse to come up and maybe see the crappy Jets lose a game or a good play on Broadway. So that would be fun. All right, let's get started. Iyad is here. He's been waiting. Hello, Iyad. You're on mute, my brother. You're on mute, Iyad. There you go.
Yeah, you hear me now?
Now I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, I have a question about the I-1 city. So I am applying for my wife. I recently get my green card. and I'm asking if there's like a way to expedite the visa for her because of a humanitarian issue in my country. There is a war now in Sudan.
I think the chances of them expediting it for her are very small. You can certainly try, but whenever there's an actual route for her to come, that is as the spouse of a green card holder, that I think actually hurts the humanitarian angle. So in other words, humanitarian parole is sort of a non-immigrant way into the country. You're certainly free to try it, Iyad, but it's not going to work.
Yeah, so they say like there is an expedite according to humanitarian causes. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking to do
I don't think
that.
that's going to happen. They want her to wait in line like everybody else. So you can certainly try, and they say that that's something that they do. But I've seen situations where like the EAD, the U.S. citizen's dying of cancer, and he just wants his wife to get there before he dies, and they don't grant it. So I know that things are bad in Sudan, but I think the
Yeah.
chances of them giving her a humanitarian parole is like 1 out of 100.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for answering. Thank you.
Bye, Ed. Good luck, buddy. All right, all right. The other Shabazz is here. Hello, other Shabazz.
Oh, hi, Jim. Happy Sunday. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Jim, I won't take too much of your time. I just wanted to follow up about two things that we spoke the last time. Real quick question. I'll recap. I asked you which route do most immigration lawyers prefer, the adjustment or the embassy route, and you gave me your thoughts on that. But I know every case is different, but generally speaking, which one is faster, would you say? Adjustment or the other one, counselor?
You're talking about based on marriage to a U.S. citizen?
That's right, yeah.
I would say that adjustment's almost always faster.
Okay, all right.
Unless you're talking about a very very small consulate. So, but if you're talking about any place where there's a lot of those people in the United States, Philippines, Mexico, Pakistan, India, Afghanistan, any place. I mean, if you say like Lithuania or Austria or New Zealand, then maybe it's a little faster every now and then. But 9 times out of 10, green card's always going to be faster.
Okay, all right. Hey, does it matter if it's the spouse filing for the foreign national or the U.S. citizen child or the parent, or are they all different time wise?
You're saying within the category of immediate relatives, which are the spouses
Hmm.
of citizens, the children of underage children, and parents.
No, I mean to say, let's say my child is over 21, American citizen, and my wife is a U.S. citizen too. So does it matter really who files for the
Which
foreign
kid?
national?
Which
Yeah.
kid? No.
No.
No,
Okay. Okay.
the only thing I ever say is to pick the healthier one, because
Okay.
remember they have to live all the way through to that visa being issued. So I've even had people file backup petitions just because we weren't sure that grandmama was going to live long enough to sponsor Sonny Boy.
Okay. Okay. All right. And Jim, the other one was about I told you about the speeding tickets, right? And we agreed that we should treat it as citation. I've had many speeding tickets in Canada, right, over the years. So I went to the courthouse the other day in Toronto, and I told him, "Hey, I'm filling out immigration paperwork. I need my disposition." So this guy, he said, first of all, we don't issue citations in Canada unless there's a crime involved. He said those are infractions. He said don't say citation, and then the other countries, the immigration office looks at it as a misrep. Don't say you had a citation when you did not. So I just wanted to ask you. This is what he offered me, almost like a FOIA request under the Privacy Act in Canada. He said I could give you your last 30 years of driving records, and you can get your driver abstract, which from the DMV office, it'll say that you had tickets, but all paid, and your license is in good standing. So is that okay? What do you say? Because they don't call it citation there.
I don't take my legal advice and especially my immigration advice from a Canadian bureaucrat working at the DMV.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I will say, at the same time, Shabazz, I will say that something came across my desk the other day. I can't say that I fully engaged with it, but I
Mhm.
believe that USCIS has recently, like this week or last week, issued a clarification on what constitutes a citation. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll track that down, because I think, and what I mean to say is I think they've made it more limited, like you were hoping. So
Mhm.
let me track that down, and I'll talk about it on the show in the next day or two. I just gotta. It came across Slack. I was on to something else, so I didn't really dive in. But there's something cooking. So if anybody finds it, put it in the comments. Otherwise, I'll try to find it.
But I will have to say yes to the citation because I did have two citations in New York. Obviously, I won those cases.
Yeah.
I will have to say yes. And obviously, at the time of interview, if they ask, details, I can declare my Canadian record. And I think they do have the power now because both countries, they're like brother and sisters. They can check on each other's records, right? Like, with your license number or whatever.
And
Yeah.
were you saying that that fellow said to you that to over explain or over provide evidence of citations would be a misrep? That's just wrong.
So what he said is, he said that he's a court official, so he could only tell me what his or his opinion. Then I did think about how in the past you've on the show I've heard that the dirty little tricks that these people have is, for example, someone said they were married when they were not, and then they come back and tell you, okay, give us your divorce decree when the person wasn't married. So
Yeah.
he was telling me, don't say that, oh, you had a citation when you did not, because we didn't give you a citation unless you were drinking and driving. That's a crime. You hit and run. That's a crime. Driving without insurance. That's like a crime too. He said, what I could do as an alternative for you is give you your FOIA record for the last 30 years, which will show everything on their previous addresses and speeding tickets, whatnot. And then he said, as an alternative, you could go to DMV and get your abstract, like a driver abstract, which will say whether you are licensed or not, and if there's anything outstanding.
That sounds good. Thanks,
That
Shabazz.
sounds good. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, Jim. Catch you next time, buddy.
See ya. All right, Ziad is back. Hello, Ziad.
Hey Jim, how are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm better now.
Good.
First, I want to thank you for your support yesterday, and I'm sorry if I was too sensitive.
100%. Don't have to say you're sorry. It was totally cool.
Okay. Um, my question is, I sent you the email as you requested.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask one question regarding the bank account. Should I go and tell her I want to pull myself out, or like what should I do now?
Well, remember, we don't want to talk to her if we can avoid it. We want everything to be on text, and we want there to be as little drama as possible.
Okay.
So what I always tell people is, do your best planning. Put yourself in the safest position you can be, financially, emotionally, physically.
Okay.
And then start dealing with. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if the next word she hears from you is through your divorce attorney, that would be great.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just waiting for this list you told me you wanna send it to me, and
Yeah, I'll tell Faven tomorrow to send me your email, so that I get it right away tomorrow morning. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Bye, buddy. I'm glad you're doing better.
Yeah. Thanks.
See ya. All right. Everyone's glad to hear Ziad's doing better from yesterday. Qasim's here. Hi, Qasim.
Hey, good morning from a unfortunate Bears fan.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a good question. Who's more cursed,
I
Bears
know.
fans or Jets fans?
You were talking about your Jets. I put in the chat. I was like, man, if only we were that decent.
Is that D3 guy still your quarterback?
No, he's we're getting Justin Fields back today. I almost said an All-Pro Justin Jefferson, but no.
Yeah, you wish. Who are you playing?
We're playing the Lions today, so a pretty good team today.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get wrecked today. Oh man. So thanks for having me. Saddam, by the way. We've spoken before. So I'm the guy who my wife, we had the interview in Montreal. In July, she was sent to do her DS 5355. So we did that and everything, and it's coming up on the 6 months, I think. So we're hopefully waiting to do the WOM. And as a paranoid person like myself, I'm on visa journey literally every day. And
Mhm.
one of the issues that in the group that I'm part of like the Montreal group.
Mhm.
It seems like people who are filing for the WOM in the 2023 calendar have been almost all of them. It seems like they've been dismissed. Have you
Mm.
noticed people being dismissed from that embassy in Montreal with
I,
filing for the WOM?
if you send me an email, I can check with the team. I don't handle the day-to-day lawsuits anymore, so
Sure.
but I could check. But here's what I'll say.
Hmm.
I know that we've gotten ones moved out of Montreal. I would also say that the ones where we're seeing motions to dismiss, and you tell me what it says on Visa Journey, but the ones where we're seeing motions is where there's not been an interview.
Oh no, they've had interviews. See, that's
Okay.
the issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what makes me very worried is because is that the majority of them do have interviews. I know it's
When
like
did-
obviously online and you don't know who's posting on there and
yeah,
stuff
but
like that,
people
but it's
probably
really
people
neat.
probably aren't lying.
You know, I mean, they're going out of their way to message on there, so it just
Yeah.
it's
What when did USCIS approve the I-130?
December, right? 2022, right?
It was May. The NVC was processed May 18th. No, the I-130 is December 5th.
December 5th, 2022, right? Yeah.
So you're coming up on a year.
So we're coming up on a year, yes.
And Kasim, what's your U.S. base of operations? Like, if we were to file your lawsuit, where would we file it?
At Chicago.
Oh, that's the best. Chicago's the best.
Okay.
Because so there's certain places that don't mess around,
Okay.
right? So Baltimore doesn't mess around, Houston doesn't mess around, Dallas doesn't mess around, Omaha, Nebraska, which is where the one of the Nebraska Service Center is.
Sure.
You know, those U.S. attorneys don't mess around. Now, we did get I think it's one of our very first motions to dismiss out of Chicago the other day, but I think it was for a green card case. But usually they don't mess around with that stuff. They just pick up the phone, get a hold of state or USCIS and say, what the hell? So,
Okay. So send you an email, and what should we ask in the email?
put Montreal in the headline and just say, hey, Jim. And again, speaking of like yesterday about the stats, if I could start publishing the stats about what's going on at each embassy, that would be really good. But that's going to be a big project for us.
Yeah. Okay.
I can anecdotally check with the team. I know that they'll be able to give me some rough feedback.
Yeah, please, if you don't mind. It's very hard to because one of the things, I know this is TMI, but to start we've been waiting for a while to start like a family basically, and as we get older, we're just wondering if it's quicker to start a family while she gives birth in Canada, for example. She's Canadian citizen. Gives birth in Canada, and then I file again for my child in the future, or is it easier for us to still wait for her to get settled here and then not have to go through that process? Is it easier for like a newborn for us to do a green card, as transition to citizenship for an infant, for example?
The kid might be a citizen by operation of law, depending on when you became a citizen and how long you lived in America.
Oh, I was born in the States, born in Chicago.
Then your kid, if you have a kid born in Canada, they'll be a U.S. citizen.
Oh, okay.
But as far as being paranoid or worried, I mean, obviously it's $5,000 to sue them, but nothing bad happens even if they dismiss the case, right? I mean, at the very least, you're getting their attention.
Yeah. Okay. So what happens when you do get dismissed from?
Then you just go back to waiting.
Oh, okay. And I'm assuming the way it works is she would have to come travel, or I travel back and forth. Then in that case, I'm assuming it's 6 months that she could stay up to this in the States. Is that correct? At a certain time.
Where is she right now?
Oh, she's with me here
in Chicago.
Yeah.
Homie, when did she get here?
2 months.
Oh, not a long time ago. It was literally been a month and like a week. 2 months
so
ago.
if she somehow magically decided, I'm sick of this Canadian bullshit, I'm sick of Montreal, I have an approved I-130, I'm not going back, and after 60 days I'm filing my green card and I'm staying here until I get it.
Wait, sorry. One more time for me.
Okay. So what is your wife's first name?
Nadira.
Okay. So if Nadira said, I'm living in Canada and I'm waiting on my I-130. I'm selling everything I got in Canada. I'm done with Canada. I'm going to America. I'm going to tell them that I'm visiting my husband, but really I'm coming to file for a green card. And then she got here and filed for a green card. That would be trouble because that would be a misrepresentation.
Yeah.
But our office has handled numerous cases where somebody came on a visit visa with a pending fiance case, a pending I-130, and they can't get the embassy to do what they want. And then they come to see me and I say, hey, look, you can't have had immigrant intent when you came, but if you develop immigrant intent while you're here, you could take that approved I-130, file for a green card, file for a travel card, file for a work card, and wait here the whole time that case is pending, and then you just tell Montreal to fuck all the way off.
So which one is faster?
So yeah, that's what I was going to say. So which one would be faster if we do all those cards and stuff? I'm assuming what you just said then.
Well, faster is a relative question because Montreal could give her the visa tomorrow.
Yeah.
Green card, and work card, all that stuff's going to take 6 to 9 months. But the point is, everybody's in America, and you can start your life yesterday.
Yeah.
These other than lawsuits, these are my favorite cases because then I get to help people who've been stuck separate, and the Canadian was able to get into the United States. The Canadian didn't tell anything that wasn't true when they came through customs. They wait 60 days and then they file for adjustment, and then we just do it like a regular old green card case.
So that means I can.
And for the record, if anybody ever accused either of you of having immigrant intent, you just show them this video and say, no, I didn't find out about this shit till I talked to Jim.
Oh, yeah.
We're waiting for the poster play. Yep, we have proof. It was live without a net.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Okay, would we reach out to you in this case and we can talk about it
same
further?
thing. Yeah, either way. Yeah, you can email me about the whole thing. Just say it's me, Qasim. I was on with Jim. Sunday. I'll find it, or Faven will find it, and then I'll email you tomorrow.
Okay. What? Any other questions? Okay. We'll reach out to you, Jim. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You
Jim.
got it.
All right.
Go
Pray for my
Bears.
Bears, and we'll pray for your Jets.
There you go. They need it. They should probably play each other. They would probably tie.
Oh, I know. Oh my God.
Man, later.
Have a good one. Peace.
That was fun. Wasn't that fun? See how that works? Yeah. I remember one of the first times I did this was for a really nice couple. He was from Virginia and she was from China. I think they had tried a fiance case before. No, yeah, she had a approved I-129F fiance case, and they were waiting for the embassy in China to give her the visa. She also had a visit visa to the United States. So just like Qasim did, they called me up and I said, man, forget about that Chinese embassy bullshit. Just get married. Forget the fiance case and start all over. And actually, I did that green card in Fairfax. That was fun. They have a kid now. So fun stuff. It's fun stuff when you can help people. Let's say hi to Tasha. Hello, Tasha. You're on mute, Tasha.
Hey, Mr. Jimmy, can I get off camera, please?
You are off camera.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So I have a friend of mine who, her husband won DV. So they got married and everything. They filled out the paperwork. But before he played the DV, I think back home, you have to pay someone to play for you. So after he won, the guy that played for him asked him to pay about over $2,000, and he didn't have that money to pay. So him and his wife went ahead and filled out the documentation and submit everything to, I don't know, Kentucky office, whatever it is. So the guy that played for him went back into the system and changed his wife's name to somebody else's name. So they didn't find out until this past week. When they went online, they found out that he changed everything, and they already scheduled them for interview. So what should they do?
So what you're telling me is, so let's call this guy John. John hired Bill to help him fill out his diversity visa paperwork.
Yes, sir.
And then John won, and then Bill sort of tried to hold John hostage and say, give me $2,000 or I'm going to mess up your case. And then John said no, and then Bill sabotaged his case.
Yes, sir. That's what happened.
Okay, so note to everybody, don't let anybody else fill out your diversity visa paperwork because this is what can happen. I've actually, Tasha, I've never actually even heard of this happening, but I can certainly see how it happened.
Yeah, because he had a case number and everything, so he could go back into the system and change the information that they already did. So that will happen.
Can John get in there and change it too, or no?
He already did. He went in yesterday and he changed the DS-260 to his wife's name.
Yeah,
But they already scheduled them for an interview. But his wife's in January. So should she go to the interview? What should happen? Because she's
yeah.
because
Everyone, full steam ahead. Here's my question. Well,
yes,
first of all, what country is this?
Sierra Leone. Sierra
Did
Leone.
did does John have any proof of what the shitbird Bill did to him?
Um, I think yeah. I think so. I think
So
he
if he
does.
has text like from the shitbird Bill, then I would make sure that he brings those so that he can. I mean, I think consular officials are suspicious of a lot of things, but this is one thing that I believe they will believe him. And
Okay.
if he has text showing it, I mean it just rings true. This is why nobody should ever use visa consultants at embassies in Africa or anywhere else in the world. Just do it yourself. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need a visa consultant. I don't care how poor your English is. Hire a translator, not a visa consultant.
Yes, sir.
So I think they'll believe him.
All
Okay.
right. So okay. So she should go to the interview and everything, but I don't think she'll be able to do the medical because they give you documents and you have to.
That's
We should,
okay. That's okay. It's just January. They still have 8 months to get everything
she
sorted out.
already emailed. They already sent an email to the embassy. Is that okay with all the
Keep going.
documents and everything?
Keep going. Yep. Just keep going.
Okay. All right.
Bye,
Thank you,
Tasha.
Mr. Jimmy.
See you,
Bye.
my friend. Bye. All right. All right. All right. Let's say hi to Carol. Hello, Carol.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Um, where do I even start? My husband is here with me right now. He's pretty much the one who needs advice from you because we filed the form I-130 and I-45. The I-130 was approved, but I-485 is still pending. During this process, my husband applied for I-131 for the travel document. We're getting a bit of setbacks from the USCIS, so I'll have him explain if you don't mind.
That'd be great. Thanks, Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yes. Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing? What's your first name?
Benson.
Ben Fan?
Benson. Benson.
Ben Fan, where are you from?
I'm Kenyan.
When did you enter the United States?
It's been a while. 2019.
And when did you get married?
2022. 21. Sorry, 21.
You came on a B1, B2?
So yes, I had a B2 that expired. I filed asylum. Then I withdrew it, and then actually, I wanted to withdraw, but then an order of removal was entered on my case.
Okay, let's go slow. Let's go slow. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go slow.
Okay.
Okay. So you enter 2019 and then you apply for asylum. Did you have an asylum interview?
So at the time when I came in, when I applied for it, my visa expired at the same time, pretty much almost the same time. So I got detained by ICE. Then I went through the asylum process in Louisiana.
In the court. In the court?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So when exactly did you enter? Like what month and year?
So well, I had been coming in and out on a visitor's visa, but then the most recent one was early 2020, right around the same time COVID hit in.
Okay, and were you going back to your home country?
No.
Okay. All right. So the last entry was like March 2020, and then did ICE come get you before you filed for asylum or after?
So they stopped me at the airport because my visa had just a few days to its expiry.
What were you doing at the airport when they got
No,
you?
no, I was coming into the country on a tourist visa.
So 2020, you fly back to America. Your visa, when you got on the plane, your visa had already expired.
No, no, it was not expired. It just had a few days.
Yeah, a
To
few days
expire.
left. Okay. So you get pulled into secondary inspection, and then what do
Yeah.
they say? They say, "Hey, Ben Fun, you only have 3 days left on your visa. We'll let you in for 3 days, or what?
No, so they were like, we can't let you in.
We can't let you in." Okay. And so then you said, "I want asylum."
Then then I said I would like to file for asylum because I can't go back home.
Okay. And so then you get
Detained.
did they detain you
Yes, then I get detained.
for how long?
For almost 9 months.
Wow. Okay. And then you had an asylum merits hearing in
Yes, in Louisiana.
in Oakdale,
Yes, Oakdale.
the worst place ever.
Oh
my
yes.
God.
Especially Judge Scott.
It's literally one of the worst places on earth.
I know. Tell me.
Okay. So then during those 9 months, is that when you got married, or you got married after that?
No, so we got married after that.
You get ordered removed.
Yeah, so I get ordered removed. I appealed the case, but the attorney I had at the time didn't do a good job. So the BIA dismissed, claiming that the issues that were raised on appeal were not briefed in the brief documents.
In the immigration court.
Yes.
Got
So then I went ahead to the Fifth Circuit. They granted a stay of removal. At that time, I filed a pro se writ of habeas corpus. Then at some point, there was the interim decision by a magistrate, actually the recommendations to deny, but then I contested. Then the government, the district, no, actually the field officer, the New Orleans field office director brought an affidavit to court saying, the government was doing all the mitigation stuff according to CDC, blah, 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 and it was all a lie. So I had 100 inmates write affidavits in the detention.
Good for you.
And I used that to request for a deposition of the field director.
You're kidding.
So yes, so the deposition was granted, and I was given 7 hours to depose the field office director.
Really?
Yes. Then the next day, ICE came and said they were releasing me. And then I asked, so are you guys releasing me because one, I added people into my civil suits, and two, or because I'm deposing the field office director, and they were like, hey, we've just been told to let you go. So I was released, and then the other 98 guys were also released in the same week.
Wow.
So that the case would eventually be terminated as moot.
You were making some kind of COVID argument that they
Yes.
weren't treating you safely in the jail. Yeah.
Yes.
Just so you know, Ben Fun,
Uh-huh.
like I've been an immigration lawyer I've been a lawyer for 26 years, and I would give my right arm to take a deposition of a field office director. I got to do a service center director, I think, twice, but never a field office director. So you should be extremely proud of yourself.
Thank you.
All right, so fast forward. So you bust out, and then
Yeah.
you marry the Carol who was on the call at the beginning.
Yes.
Okay.
And
hold on.
Uh-huh.
Did you and Carol know each other before
Yeah.
you got put into removal?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So then Carol files an I-130 for you.
Yes.
And
it's approved.
And you also did did you go back to the immigration court to deal with the removal order?
Yes. So after we filed, I also went back to the immigration. So the Fifth Circuit granted me a stay of removal. In the meantime, after the I-130 was approved, I did a motion to reopen the case and terminate the removal proceedings at the BIA. I also
this is without a lawyer?
Yes.
Wow, mashallah.
I also emailed I also emailed the DHS council and requested them to join in a joint motion. And when the I-130 was approved, they accepted to do a joint motion. So we did a joint.
This was after Biden was president?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, I inferred on them to exercise their discretional, their prosecutorial discretion.
Wow.
So they joined in the motion. We sent it to BIA, and it was approved. So the case was reopened and terminated.
Amazing. Okay. So now what about the fact that you don't have a valid entry for purposes of adjustment? That seems like the last thing we have to deal with.
Yeah. So upon release, I was released on I was released on recognizance.
Yeah.
Now what I did, I made an argument based on a case that was before the Miami Immigration Court, in which the judge pretty much inferred to the Immigration Nationality Act that the only avenue that the Attorney General can release anyone into the United States is through parole, as per the law, no other way. So
your argument, so you mean the way that you and the other 99 were released constitutes a parole for purposes of adjustment?
Yes.
Holy fuck! Are you a lawyer?
I have a legal background.
Man, okay, keep going. This is the best story I've ever heard.
So that's the argument I made, and I attached even the judgment now when I filed for my I-485, and I also applied for a travel document at the time of filing. Now it's been pending for a few months. Now recently something happened that necessitates me to travel, and I applied for an emergency advance parole.
No, do not leave till you get your green card. You're so close. You've done everything right. Do not leave.
Yeah. No, it's quite an emergency.
I don't care. When did you file the 485?
On May 16th.
Of this year?
Yes.
And you're still in New Orleans, or where do you live?
No. I live in Virginia Beach.
That's like Eastern Virginia?
Yeah. So my field office is Norfolk, but the case is my case is currently at the National Benefit Center.
As a standalone 45, you filed that separately.
Yes.
After proceedings were terminated.
Yes.
Wow. Carol was right. She said, "Where do I start?" Oh my God. Okay. All right. Okay. So if your question for me is, Jim, should I leave before I get my green card? I mean, my answer is no. I mean,
okay.
You've done an amazing job. You've gotten really close. I mean,
yes.
Do I think? I mean, this is the kind of case where they're like, man, he really beat our brains in. We really don't want to let him back in.
Okay.
You're so close.
Yeah. All right.
I was going to say this too. I don't know if you know this, Ben Fun, but we do a viewer of the month, and usually it's because people fill out our survey. But I am unilaterally, as the host of this show, declaring you viewer of the month. If I could build you a statue in front of that fucking Oakdale Detention Center, I would do it. I mean, this is like literally.
Yes.
We did a class on Friday for our lawyer, or Thursday night for our lawyers, like about being a good advocate.
Yes.
I'm going to show them this recording.
Okay. All right.
And listen, if you get stuck in Norfolk, if you need anything else,
okay,
we'd be happy to help you. I'd be proud to work on your case.
Yes.
But and I would also love to see everything that you filed. So
absolutely.
But anyway, if you get stuck on the green card, let us know and we'll go from there. Okay.
So actually, the reason why I called mainly was because of the green card. Now, when I went to apply for the advance parole, I happened to talk to a supervisor, and one of the reasons they used to deny me was that I have an order of removal, and so they cannot even adjudicate my green card. I went back home and took to them a copy of the BIA order reopening the case and dismissing, or rather terminating. And the supervisor was like, well, I still don't see here where the removal order is.
Right. And see, that's why I don't want you to leave, because even if you traveled with that piece of paper, if it doesn't show up in their system and you get some bureaucrat who just doesn't know how to push the next button. That's what I'm
Yeah.
worried about.
Okay. Because now, because now I was like, okay, if this is a supervisor who is supposed to adjudicate this form and does not understand
Right.
the terms used by BIA to
Yep.
basically terminate a removal order, then
Yep.
how do people actually get justice from them? Do I need to file a writ of mandamus, or what exactly should I do at this point? Because
You should sit tight until June
okay,
when your 1 year's up, and then I would say on the 366th day we should sue.
okay, all
Because
right.
you're probably going to have to sue anyway, but maybe not. I mean, you've navigated one of the most complex areas of immigration law, and you've done it with flying colors. So,
Thank you.
what do I know?
Yeah, well, I mean, we learn every day.
You did great. Thanks so much, Ben Fawn.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
great
much.
day.
I appreciate.
Thank
Bye,
you,
buddy.
Jim.
Bye, Carol. See ya.
Yeah.
Wow, you never know what you're going to get on the old Immigration Answers show. That was quite a story. He had the passion and advocacy of Shabazz, the not giving up of Shabazz, but he also had the legal smarts to pull that off. Wow, that was something else. All right, I have a little story for you guys. So apparently, we got. How do I pull up my messages in Instagram? Let's see your activity. Okay, so I don't know how to pull it up, but one of our viewers. Oh, Ferdimenko wants me to summarize it. Okay, I will real quick. Okay, so my man enters the United States after several entries on a visit visa. He's sitting at the airport, and they say, "We don't know if we want to let you in. Your visa expires in 3 days, or maybe his passport expires, one or the other." And so he says, "Well, I can't go back to Kenya because if I do, I'm going to be persecuted, and I need asylum." Right? So then they say, okay, you can apply for asylum. Now, generally people get 2 chances at asylum. First, you go to the asylum office and you make a claim for what's called affirmative asylum, where you're asking the United States government, not deportation court, but the United States government, to say that you have a credible fear of being persecuted back home. Right? So if you're in the United States and haven't been caught or aren't in deportation, then you get 2 shots at it. So if you enter on a visit visa, if you enter on a student visa, whatever, if you're entered legally, or even if you just enter without inspection and get past the border, you could raise your hand in St. Louis, Missouri and say, I need asylum, right? And so if you're physically in the United States, you have the right to apply for asylum and you have the right to see an asylum officer. But he wasn't technically in the United States. So they said, we'll let you in and you can make a claim for asylum, but it will only be in deportation court. So he's only going to have 1 chance instead of 2. So it sounds like they detained him until he had his actual individual hearing, which is the hearing you get. Yeah, Dammy just noticed I shaved the beard. Haha. Ben Fon just waited in jail in the immigration detention center in Oakdale, Louisiana, which is a real tough place. The immigration court is actually inside the jail. And he did not convince them that he was deserving of asylum. So the judge ordered him deported. So then he took it up on appeal to the Board of Immigration Appeals, which is your first stop after you've been ordered deported. Everybody gets 1 chance to convince the BIA. And if you lose there, then they can start deporting you. Well, Ben Fon was really resourceful, and he was able to convince the Fifth Circuit, which sits on top of the Board of Immigration Appeals. So everybody in America is in one of 11 circuits. So like I'm in the 8th Circuit. Ben Fon was in the Fifth Circuit, which is very, very conservative and very, very anti-immigrant. So the fact that he was able to get a stay of his removal, that in and of itself was amazing. So then it sounds like he filed this sideways lawsuit against Oakdale and the immigration office, saying that they weren't following COVID protocols and that they were all being housed like 100 people in a room or something. And he filed this almost like a civil rights lawsuit against USCIS and the immigration court. And he made such a nuisance of himself that the federal judge authorized him to take the deposition of the people in charge of the jail. And he took a 7-hour deposition of the field office director for the New Orleans immigration office. And they don't play at the New Orleans immigration field office. Like, I talk about Denver, but New Orleans is right up there as far as hard asses when it comes to immigration. So the fact that he was able to take this 7-hour deposition without a lawyer is mind-bogglingly good. So what he said happened was the next day, they released him and the other. In order to overcome this affidavit. So sorry. So that's how he got the deposition. Sorry, I left out a really funny part. So the government says, Judge, there's nothing to see here. Motion for summary judgment. This lawsuit by Ben Fon is bullshit. And look, we have this great affidavit, which is a sworn statement just typed up that the field office director for the New Orleans field office signed, saying we're following COVID protocols. This lawsuit is without merit. Judge, there's nothing for you to see here. You should dismiss it without a trial. And not to be outdone, my man Ben Fon goes around the jail and has 100 people, 99 other people, sign affidavits saying that the field office director is full of shit. And he files that as his response to the bullshit affidavit submitted by the government's attorneys. I'm going to have to look this case up. That's all there is to it. So the judge is so impressed. And so when the government files a motion for summary judgment, the argument that they're making is, Judge, he has no claim and there's no dispute as to the material facts. Yeah, APF's right. He is caller of the year. There's no dispute of the material facts. In other words, the facts aren't in dispute. Everybody agrees what the facts are. Well, here, when my man Ben Fon drops 100 affidavits on the government's head, the judge says, well, I guess there is a factual dispute. And I guess maybe Ben Fon should get to ask the field office director what he meant in this sworn statement that he gave to me saying the case should be dismissed. So Ben Fon gets to take the deposition, and then magically, so then he has him on the run, right? So you guys know, I think, that when I file my lawsuits, most of the time they just want to what's called moot it out. They want to make it go away. And the way they make it go away a lot of times is they give the plaintiff what he wants. And so this is like a chess match. So then Ben Fon gets released the next day. And then the day after that, they release the 99. That's right. Tony's right. I've never deposed a field office director. I've deposed the head of the Texas Service Center and maybe one other, but I don't think I've ever taken a deposition of I'd love to. Like, that would be great. And one of my buddies, one of my other immigration attorneys, he's got a mandamus case against the embassy in Cairo. He's going to take the guy in charge of the visa processing in Cairo, which I thought would be really great. All right. So then, so here's the best part of all, and here's why it's like chess. So my man Ben Fon, so then Ben Fon gets married to a U.S. citizen, and when you're under a removal order, you can't file the I-130 with the 485. You have to file them separately because he was still under the jurisdiction of the immigration court, which means USCIS didn't have the jurisdiction to give him the green card. Now, only USCIS can adjudicate the I-130. So he files the I-130 as a standalone, and that gets approved. They say, this is a valid marriage. You're married to a U.S. citizen. Your I-130 is approved. So then he takes that and he files a motion with the immigration court, with the BIA, to set aside his removal order. And then he does what you guys love when Shabazz does this. So Shabazz drives the Department of Justice attorneys crazy. But Ben Fon then sends a request, an email to the government attorneys, the people he's been fighting, right? The people who ordered him deported. He sends an email to them and says, hey, suckers, how you like me now, bitch? I have an approved I-130. Why don't you join in my motion to set aside my removal order so that I can adjust my status like a regular person does when they have an approved I-130, and let me do it with USCIS. We'll be done with the immigration court, and I'll get my green card through the USCIS. Now, here's the kicker, and here's why it's like chess. When he won that sideways lawsuit that he had, and they released him into the United States, according to Ben Font, and the argument that he's made, which is brilliant, he found a case from the immigration court in Miami, he says, that says the only way the Department of Justice could release him and the other 99 was if they paroled him into the United States, which is exactly what he needs to get his green card from USCIS. So, I mean, I'm 99% sure Ben Font didn't structure everything in this way, including the sideways lawsuit, and maybe he'll tell me that he did, but that was a stroke of brilliance, and if he pulls it off, I mean, that's like a movie. It's like a movie. It's so great. It's so great. It's one of the best calls I've ever had, and it just made my day. And when I sit down with the boys and Noor and Amani at dinner tonight, I'm going to tell the story all over again. And then when I get to work tomorrow, I'm going to tell the story all over again to everyone in the firm and say, this is an example of fighting for your clients. This is an example of not giving up. This is an example of not taking their bullshit at face value, sticking to your guns, and doing the hard work to show what clowns they are. Oh shit, I signed an affidavit. It said that we're observing all the CDC protocols, and now there's 100 people swearing under oath that I basically lied. A legend. Ricky's right. Ben Fon, BENFON, is a legend, and we salute you. How about that? Oh my God, that took half an hour, but it was well worth it. Anyway, the story I wanted to tell at the bottom of the mark of the hour was that somebody's posting as me on TikTok at immigration hacking, and it's gotten more sophisticated. Usually it's spelled wrong. Like there's one letter off, and they use that picture of me from San Diego, which I have on my TikTok. So then I did a search for like immigration hacking in TikTok. There's like 20 accounts trying to copy mine. So I asked the viewer who saw it, she sent it to me. And so that was really great. And she said, or when she sent it to me, they are trying to get people off of TikTok onto this special Telegram account. So I've been hearing about Telegram because we get a number of cases from Iran for people who have F1 student visas or I-140 national interest waiver cases that have been stuck off this Telegram group. So Telegram's sort of like WhatsApp, I think. And so this morning at about 5 a.m, when I woke up and I got that nice message from our viewer. So whenever you guys hear about me getting spoofed or people copying me, make sure to let me know so that we can let you guys know. But basically there's like 20 fake TikTok accounts. And so when I get on to Telegram for the very first time, a guy named Saeed, who's Iranian descent, says, welcome to Telegram, Mr. Hacking. And so he and I had a really nice chat. And apparently he's been sending us lots of cases because he knows that with the writ of mandamus, we've been able to help a lot of Iranians. We had a really nice chat back and forth. I told him I was going to talk about his story or him reaching out to me. So that was really nice. And then he says that there's an Iranian fellow who actually received a letter about CARP while applying for OPT, which is the Controlled Application Review and Resolution Program. So he's going to try to track down that letter for me. But all that being said, just thanks anybody who warns other people about people spoofing me or acting like me. All right. So I've gone on for a really long time. I'm going to talk to Chohan. Sorry about that. Hi, Chohan.
Hey, Mr. Jim, how you doing?
Well, I'm well. How are you?
Can you put me off camera, please?
There you go.
Okay, thank you. All right. I just recently started listening your show on YouTube, and I'm really liking it. You are doing really great job.
Thanks.
Uh, but there is a concern. I'm not sure if you are aware of it, but it's about your customer service.
Okay.
I saw your phone number on your links and your email address. I
Yeah.
called there, and I think it's some overseas people taking your calls. They
It's a mix of both. Yeah.
Yeah, I explained them the whole thing. They transfer my call to another person. Then I explained to her, and she said, "We'll get back to you after talking to our office." It's been 3 days, nobody came back. And then I shoot an email explaining my problem. Nobody responded to that. So I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but
I
you're
appreciate that, Johan. And so, just so you know, Thursday and Friday, our office was sort of closed for our retreat. But
okay.
they should have followed up. I'll tell you what. When we get off this call, when at noon, I'll find you in the system and I'll send you an email. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be great.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry that that happened, but it was sort of a hectic end of the week because we shut down the office and we do like our retreat. But I'll get back to you today. Okay.
okay, okay. No, I was just wondering maybe you are missing clients because of that
No,
customer
I appreciate
service.
that. Yeah. No, I think it's probably because of the retreat, but no, I always appreciate people letting me know, and we'll look right into it. Okay.
Okay, okay. But my problem, can I give you
Yeah.
some
Yeah. Go ahead.
details?
Sure.
Yeah, I got my 2 year green. I'm married to a US citizen.
Okay.
I was on B1, B2 at first, then I transferred to F1, and then I married, and so I got my green card within 1 year in 2019. So the same month I got my green card, I decided to travel back home. And when I was traveling, unfortunately, we were had some issues in our marriage, and we were not on talking terms. So when I was coming back on Chicago airport, they questioned me, take my phone, and then they asked me, okay, when did you talk to your wife last time? And since we were not talking, so I have no answer to that. So they put me on fraud marriage charges.
Yeah.
And then they put me in jail in Chicago for 2 weeks. And then they bailed me. I paid the bond and came out. So then we get back together, and we still married, by the way, with the same person. So after my 2 years were expired, I applied for I-749,
751.
751, yeah. So that is was January this year, 2023. So my case is in Texas office,
Okay.
and they're showing 2 year time for that
But
petition.
everybody's 2 years. Yeah. Wait,
Yeah, so
when you said they put fraud charges on you, what does that mean?
they said I have a fraud marriage because I couldn't prove them. Like I've been talking to my wife while I was overseas, and
When you got approved for your green card,
mhm.
um, did you have an interview?
Yeah, we had interview. They separated us, and that was successful. No question. Within 1 week, they sent me my green card after the interview.
And which airport was it that busted you? Was it Chicago? You said.
Chicago, yeah,
Yeah.
Chicago here,
And
yeah.
and did they have you sign a statement, like a sworn statement?
Yeah, the questions they asked me, those were the statement, and then I signed that one.
How did you get out of jail?
I applied for. There was a lawyer in Chicago, so my brother approached him, and he, put my case in front of judge, and they gave me bail on $2,000 bond. So I paid that, and
An immigration judge?
yeah, that was immigration judge, I think.
So are you in removal or no?
Yeah, they put me in removal proceedings.
And so when you filed the 751, you filed that with USCIS?
Yeah, I filed with them, and they sent me two letters. First came with 36-month extension to my status,
Yeah.
and then they sent another one with 48 months of extension.
When is your next court date?
It's coming in March 2024.
And
That is master hearing, the first master hearing.
so the judge doesn't know that you have a new 750, that you have a 751 on file.
I don't know, but I've been trying to. Okay, I applied for prosecutorial discretion through the
Yeah.
same lawyer who bailed me out
Yep.
back in 2020, 21. But he charged me some money, and then he said they have refused your PD request.
So they're gonna
So
fight. Did they did when you were in jail or when you were detained in Chicago, did do you know if in that time period did they talk to your wife?
they talk on the same time when they were holding me at airport.
Yeah. And did she say bad things about you or what?
No, she was she didn't say anything bad about me, but she was not sure that I'm coming, so she was little skeptical, like what day I'm coming back, and that was the only thing.
How many days had it been since you spoke to her before you flew back?
When I was leaving, we had an argument that time, and so I just left without, just before leaving 2, 3 days ago, we had an argument, and then I left, and since I came back, we haven't had any conversation during that time.
How long were you gone?
For 2 months.
Do you think she ever, like, after you got the green card, said bad things about you or wrote them a letter, or her family sent them a letter?
No, she haven't done anything like that.
But I think something
they found one.
I have heard of the Chicago CBP talking to people who just got their green card and then left the United States. I have heard of that, but I think it's more likely that something happened that put a flag on your file, and that's why they pulled you out of line when you came back through Chicago. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, some people say it was too early to travel after you get your green card. You just waited 1 month and then you traveled, so that was a red flag.
Yeah, we've had my wife had that case where a guy went back to Slovakia and he had just gotten his green card, and then they busted him with his phone and saw that the whole thing was fake in Chicago. Okay. Well, anyway, I'll send you an email here in a little bit. Okay.
But there is another thing. I've been approaching ICE, through their portal. I created a Pro Se account, and then I've been sending them proof of our marriage, continued, the pictures, family pictures, lease, and all those kind of things. I've been sending them, and they never responded to anything.
Yeah, they're not going
Even
to.
I get my FBI fingerprint report, and I also send them upload it in Pro Se portal.
No, you have to win it. You have to win this case at USCIS. ICE isn't gonna look at that shit.
So that court hearing, I should be prepared for that now.
Yeah, now you'll be able to say, Judge, I hired a lawyer. I have a 751 on file. Here's my receipt notice. I asked for prosecutor discretion. They said no. So let's at least see what USCIS says about the I-751. I think you should terminate now, but admin close it while USCIS decides what to do on the 751.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'll be looking forward for your email, and we'll take it from there, because time is coming soon, and I need somebody to represent me in court.
Thanks, Chauhan.
Yeah, you are welcome.
See you, buddy.
Nice talking to you.
Yep, for sure. Rocio made me laugh. Jimmy asking all casual, how'd you get out of jail while chewing ice? Made my day. Well, that's how we roll around here, Rocio. You know that. All right, everybody. That was a fun day, a longer show. Not so long, but I'm going to watch some football. I'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central, and I'll try to do things a little faster, and I won't talk so much tomorrow. But I think everybody really got out a lot of Ben Phone's call today, so it was a cracking show. Thank you, Lewis. One of the best. Yep, I agree. I think we need like a little shrine to Ben Phone or something, like like the Ben Fon Award for self advocacy. That's what I'm talking about. All right, everybody, have a good night. See ya.